This video that we're about to watch, it actually went viral. I want to say maybe 1 or 2 years ago, from this young lady that responded to a question from this black woman that was trying to be messy because she was asking, is there any women in healthy relationships? So I want to know if you guys remember this first video, and I'll stop it once it's done playing. Here we go. I just want to give you a reminder. Flashbacks.
Healthy relationship with a man. Can you stitch this video and talk about it?
Let me give the girls some hope and tell y'all my testimony, okay? So my boyfriend and I met when we were in college, but we got into a committed relationship after we both graduated. After he graduated, he moved to Dallas for an amazing job offer, y'all. An amazing job offer that is like his dream job. But me, on the other hand, I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up. So I'm still in Virginia at this time, working job after job, changing my career about 10 different times, trying to figure out what the heck is my passion. So y'all, one day I was on the phone with him, getting ready for work, but I was also just venting to him about how unhappy I was, y'all. Like, I was just like, babe, I need to change the speed. I need to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing. I have so much more to offer to this world than to be working at this 9 to 5. Now I'm at work doing my everyday duties, and my manager tells me to come to the back because my husband is on the phone. I'm thinking in my head, Boogie, I don't have a husband. So I go to the back to answer the phone, and it's my man. So I pick up the phone. I'm like, babe, what's wrong? Like, I'm at work. So he's just like, do you want today to be your last day at work? Child, the man didn't have to repeat himself. He didn't have to say it louder because I was already with it, okay? The answer is yes. He was like, so go ahead and clock out for me.
She got so much pushback from women and also men who were calling her husband crazy for doing, or her boyfriend for doing that.
This man got me a one-way ticket to Dallas, got movers at my daggone apartment shipping my stuff over to Dallas. Baby, the man wasn't playing. He paid the fee for me to break my lease. Like, he just had everything taken care of. I felt secure in making the move because, for one, I had a great savings account and I also have 2 degrees. So if all else fails, baby, I can do better by myself. So I'm all settled in now, and we just decided to have a sit down just to talk about our expectations of each other now that we live together. And he literally just told me, the only thing I expect from you is for you to find what your passion is in life. You don't gotta cook, you don't gotta contribute to anything financially. Just figure out what you want out of life.
Men, young men, you pay attention. Y'all, where y'all at? Where the young guys at? Let's go. I want to rewind that.
And he literally just told me, the only thing I expect from you is for you to find what your passion is in life. You don't got to cook. You don't got to contribute to anything financially. Just figure out what you want out of life.
You don't have to cook, and you don't have to contribute anything financially. He set the table. He told that woman that, right? Y'all listen? Young men?
Told him, like, babe, I think I want to take content creation serious. I might have told him that on a Monday, and I promise y'all that Friday I had a vlogging camera, a new phone, ring lights, vanity sets. Baby, he was not playing. And the biggest thing of all, I complained about the lighting in our old apartment because we didn't have like a lot of natural light. The man moved us into a high-rise.
He seemed like a woman's dream, right? Let's continue.
Like, I really cannot make this up. I say all that to say, this man knew how unhappy I was. He changed my circumstances, and he also knew my potential, so he invested into my passion. And now I get to wake up every day and talk to a phone and make money. That man wanted to alleviate all my issues so I can just focus on me and what I want out of life. And that's a beautiful black king right there. It's been 4 years now. We've gone to couples therapy. We're constantly working on the quality of our relationship, and we just are obsessed with each other. And I just love my man. Do not lose hope, baby. Your person is out here somewhere, and he gonna come get you. He gonna come get you, Mookie.
So she said it's been 4 years since that video went viral. They still together. They going to couples therapy. He's taking care of everything. He had no expectations of this young woman. And again, shout out to them. Like I said, beautiful young woman. He seems like a great guy. But there are some things that I think young men need to learn from what you say that you expect from the women that you decide to date and or marry. And I think this is a good lesson for the young men who are out there in the dating market. Because like I said, I think this is the type of woman that you guys will probably run into, who you would consider a good woman, even though she is, she kind of talking that lingo, that's teetering on the city girl type thing, but she doesn't have kids. She's in shape. She looks good. And you'll learn a little bit more about her in a second. So here we go.
We're going to get into that too. But when I did, and I said this in the video as well, we did kind of have an expectation conversation. It was just like, okay, if you are going to be living here, this is what I need from you. I really want you to figure out what you want out of life. Like, who do you want to be when you grow up? Like, what do you want? Yeah. So that's what I had to like do some soul searching with. And that was 2021. It's 2024 now. And I just figured out what I wanted to be when I grow up. So
so it took her a while. And like I said, she's a young woman. I guess they got together fresh out of college, maybe 2021. It's 2024 now. They've been together for 4 years. And she said that she just now figured out what she wants to do. And this is normal for a woman who is going to trust a man's plans.
And so
it's a process.
So to put this in perspective, you've heard a lot of comments on this video, people saying what they think that you got some old sugar daddy or something that done flew you out.
Yes.
I'm sitting up here witnessing Trayvon right here. Y'all the same age.
Yes.
How old is he exactly?
He's 26, so he's a year older than me.
Yeah, same age.
Okay, so that clears up any misconceptions about this young woman getting with some sugar daddy. Her boyfriend is off camera. He doesn't like to be in the spotlight. So he's 26, she's 25. So there's no sugar daddy involvement. Let's continue.
And really cool dude. Don't like being on camera. So he's like, listen, I don't want to be on camera. That's not my world. That's her world. He's one of those analytical minds, have a good job. And his world is totally opposite of this world. Right. So you said you're in Dallas, and as you are trying to navigate what this career is, what have you landed on as far as your career?
So
now I'm stopping it for a reason. Yes, I'm going to put my input in it. This is her career that she landed on. It took her 4 years to figure this out. I want y'all to let me know if you would consider this a red flag in regards to the career that she chose.
And this is where I got some like backlash.
Yep.
Because I always wanted to be a content creator. There has not been a time where I didn't want to do media, social media, TV, whatever it was. I always wanted to create some type of content. That doesn't just mean phone. We're creating content right now, and this is going to be on YouTube. And we got cameras and lights, and this is big. So whatever realm that meant to me, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to create content. I feel like I have a great personality for TV, for the internet, for any entity of content creation. So that's what I really wanted to pursue. It's
okay, my young guys, is that a red flag to you? She wants to be a soft life influencer to encourage Black women in particular, that you can have this somewhat lifestyle that I'm having, being taken care of, a well-kept woman, so on and so forth. So that is her ultimate job. And then also moving forward to like talk shows, so on and so forth. But her main money is being made off of promoting this soft luxury lifestyle, which is very attractive to a lot of Black women these days, right? But the cherry on top for her, in order for her to be validated, is to get married. Because yes, you can promote soft life. You've been with this guy for 4 years, but y'all not married yet. Did y'all know that? The way she talks and the actions that he did to get her, you would assume that there was some promise of marriage as soon as you got out there. That's what I thought when I watched the first video. But then when I watched this, I was like, oh, they're not married yet. So she's basically been living with him in Dallas for 4 years, creating content, and she's going to explain a little bit more. But I thought that they were married. But no.
It took me a while to actually lock in. So, and that's where the therapy came in. That's where the fun, therapy came in. Nothing major, just a little bit of couples therapy, just a little bit of accountability. Because he was like, I've given you all the tools. The man got me a vlogging camera, a new phone, the lighting, the vanity set, backdrop for my literally everything. He moved me into a high-rise. I also said that in a video for better lighting. And I still was like, well, babe, I need one more thing. Oh, babe, I need this. Babe, I need the better makeup. I need like it was always something. And it came to a point where it was just like, do you really want that for yourself? Like, what are you doing?
Which is understandable.
Like, he was so frustrated with me. Like, he was. I got to keep it real with y'all.
Yeah.
I got to keep it real. He was so frustrated with me, and it hurt in therapy to hear this man be like, the girl's doing nothing.
But, and this is one of the overarching points that I want the young men to understand. If you listen to her first video, like I pointed out, he didn't put any expectations on her.
And he literally just told me, the only thing I expect from you is for you to find what your passion is in life. You don't got to cook. You don't got to contribute to anything financially. Just figure out what you want out of life.
Y'all remember that? But now he's saying, you're not doing anything for me. And this is what tends to happen when you get men who make a certain amount of money and you are providers. You like, yeah, man, I could take care of all that, whatever you need. And for a little bit, you'd be like, okay, I just got this beautiful woman in my house. She having sex with me. She's here when I get back from home. But then after that, it's going to start looking like, man, why am I paying for a maid or a chef when I got this woman just sitting there eating up all my resources? And I know that we have a couple of what Kevin Samuels used to call them Henrys, high earners, not rich yet. This is what this young man falls into. This is the category that he would fall into. And what's funny is that he's actually a member of the Kappa fraternity, which is what Kevin Samuels was actually in. And also him being an analytical person, I kind of can relate because I'm the same way. But when it comes to saying that, hey, you don't have to do anything. You just got to come here and figure out what you want to do. There was no tone set. He didn't put expectations, but now he's like, we in therapy and she ain't doing shit for me. Well, you told her that she ain't got to do nothing for you.
How long was that? How long, when did you start feeling the frustration arise? Was it like 6 months, a year? What was it?
I'm going to honestly say like a year in. Because
so he gave you a whole year.
He did. I was chilling. I'm not going to hold you. Baby, when I say soft life, I was barely even picking. I wasn't even kicking my legs up. I was just laying down. I was not doing a thing. And I also said in the video, like, he didn't even expect me to cook or clean or anything like that.
Did y'all hear that? Who sets the tone in the relationship? Young men. You know what's funny? When I was listening to this interview, and I'm glad I clipped this up because I told you guys I listen to all kinds of music. This situation reminds me of a verse from the R&B singer Black. It's spelled 6 lack, like it has a 6. And then it's L-A-C-K. You guys know who that is? And there's a song that he made on his first album called Problems.
I'm lying. It's a goddamn shame. We done crash, we done burn, but baby, you the goddamn blame. See, I wanted love, but you wanted goddamn fame. Every goddamn thing. I wanted a bitch who was on the move, but you on a goddamn lay. Listing my problems. Got that one in my bed and she just wanna sleep. Fucking up all of the sheets. She only wake up to eat. Do this shit every week. Like, why you do that? Crying, you wanna be great, but sleeping until the next day. Why you do that? Don't got that much in the bank. We go out, she order the steak. Why you do that? She can't explain it, but you know it working for her. She claiming she down on her luck, but really she don't give a fuck. And I cannot make this shit. I ain't this shit, be the real thing. She know I'm the real, that'll never change. I won't be the one to try to explain why you catch them feels. I'ma sip on this drink, it's easing the pain. I got real shit stressed about, girl, I ain't worried about shit. Remember that I tried to build you, now I ain't worried about shit.
You hear them lyrics? Sound exactly like this situation. Typically, when you find a girl that meets this criteria, that's not the one that you want to wife up. That's the girl that you want to use as a single servant relationship, which is what I described to you guys. I used to live off these types of women, the single women. We spend a weekend together, you know what I'm saying? But these women had jobs, but I didn't want them to pick up and do anything. She wasn't required to do anything. That wasn't my girl. We just having fun. But he's in a situation where he wants that kind of girl to be his wife, or he's vetting her to be his wife. But she's living that verse. So he got in-house pussy.
In-house pussy.
He good. You know what I'm saying? And that first is cool. But, you know, after the first year or so, you like, man, shit, she draining my funds. And to top it off, he bought all that damn equipment and she didn't even use it. So young men, pay attention, because y'all gonna, you know, I mean, the high earners not rich yet. But these, once you make that significant amount of money, you need to be preparing for your future instead of spending it on some woman who not doing nothing for you except sex. And at the end of the day, as men, it's our fault if we put ourselves in these situations, because now he's locked in and he doesn't understand. And I'm not, you know, speaking ill, and I hope everything works out, but he's in a tough situation. She's a content creator. And as a woman, you know, living a soft life, you can make a lot of money. I told you guys that. But the caveat is that she has to get married to validate her story. Based off the way that that Lateris describes her boyfriend, he analyzes things like I do. So in his mind, he's probably thinking that she's playing a part with the cooking and cleaning, and you guys will hear about that here in a second, just to get married. And once she's married, she'll transform back into her true self of not expecting to do anything. This one is very tricky because on one hand, her learning how to cook and clean in order to make him happy could be a good thing, or simply be her being smart in order to get the ring to complete her social media story. If this fails, she's going to look like the bad girl and also the good girl, because she's painted her boyfriend as the perfect man. However, she's going to explain why he may look like the bad guy in the future. Okay? So this is a very important conversation. And I'm glad that I ran across this so I can let the young men listen. She's not done.
I really was like on vacation.
So when he didn't expect it, did you step up and still do it?
Not until like year 2.
I told y'all it get worse. He told her 2 years before, like, hey, man, this is what I want you to do. And she didn't start doing it until 2 years later. She was living that soft life, man. So, but he told her she could. So
I'm being
so
real.
you just be sitting at home doing nothing all day. Doing nothing.
Relaxing.
Was you making videos?
Sometimes.
It's his fault.
No, seriously. I was in school for 5 years because I had a double major.
Okay.
So I worked hard in school, okay? And I was just like...
Did you get your degree?
I did.
And what you get a degree in?
Psychology and communications.
And so you had these 2 degrees doing nothing for a whole year.
I wanted to relax. No, seriously. No, this is really sounding bad, but I'm just being real.
Yeah, we know. It sounds very bad. Let's continue. Fair use.
No, it's real.
This
because
is,
it
I'm
shows
being
the
honest.
patience of your king.
Yes, he's a very patient man. I was just relaxing, and I really was just like living the soft life. Like I really was. I just wasn't recording it, and I really could have been recording my like real everyday life, and it would have really went viral then. Yeah. But I really wasn't doing anything, and then that's when it caused some friction, and we started going to couples therapy. That's when I was able to be like, oh my God, this does look so bad. Like when you have somebody else like telling you, another black woman, we have a black woman therapist.
Yeah.
She's like, well, Erica, she's just a sweet lady. She's so soft spoken. She's like, well, Erica, you really aren't doing anything for Trayvon. And I'm like, oh, I guess you're right.
She had to get somebody else to tell her that. But that's why it's good to go to therapy, guys, because you have a impartial person there that you guys can speak to or whatever. But she wouldn't have got it.
She ain't doing nothing for this man.
I'm like, oh, I guess you're right. So that's when I kind of like step my cookies up before they crumbled. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't have this a good man right here. The girls can't have this man. I'm not playing. The girls can't have him. Okay. So I said, whether I gotta cook, clean, this, that, figure out what I want to do with my life, I'm going to do it. I had to learn.
Yeah.
I'm not one of the, I'm from Baltimore. I'm not from like a super southern place where you just know how to cook from diapers. No, I really did not know how to cook like that. So I had to learn. He's not a picky man. So, you know, it was easy for him to, you know, grow and learn with me in that area.
This is where it's tough for women, especially when you make these types of conversations public, because we can come to our own conclusions about what this actually means. And like I said to you guys before, she's in a bad position because us as aware men, we could easily say that she just learned to cook and clean so she can get the ring to create her story or to complete her story. Because it doesn't seem like, in my opinion, just my opinion from my old head, it doesn't seem like she's learning how to cook and or clean because she thinks these are necessary skills that she should have as a woman. I think she learned to cook and clean because she understands that that's what it will take to keep this particular good man. And that's why I always warn young men about getting with a woman who think that it's a woman's duty to clean, you know, cook and clean for her husband or something like that, or a woman who actually likes to do those things. There's a huge difference, brothers. And I'm going to tell you that. It's a huge difference from a woman that feels that she needs to cook for her husband as opposed to a woman that loves to cook. If that's important to you, you got to figure out how to make that distinction. Okay? And that's not something for me to teach you or to, you know, go out there and, hey, vet this woman. No, you watch her actions. It's a lot of women that know how to cook. Well, I won't say now. Young men, if it's important, you need to make sure. But she's smart. She's very smart.
I just had to like grow up. I honestly think I was just growing up like the regular girl in her 20s, but I was just living with the man while I was doing it. So it just made me look bad, but I was only 22. Like, I'm not supposed to be this. So, you know, so when it comes to the marriage timeline, I do feel like I'm getting what I need out of this relationship, and what I want is a very healthy relationship.
This part is important. She said, as far as the relationship timeline, young men and also the older guys, give your insights on what could happen from her doing this. Here, listen what she says. Fair use.
When it comes to the marriage timeline, I would like to be proposed to by December 31st, 2024, which is this year.
You hear that? She put a marriage timeline on their relationship. She said right in front of her boyfriend, I would like to be married or proposed to by December 31st, 2024. That's a couple of months away. So she's basically giving him an ultimatum. This can either go two ways, and I'm not sure what type of man this young guy is, but he can hear her say that, hey, I have a timeline. You need to propose to me by December 31st. He can either say, I'm going to make her happy and propose to her either before that, or say that I already had planned on proposing to you, or he can test her and be like, you know what? I'm not going to propose to you by December 31st, but I do have plans on marrying you in the near future. So he may try and propose later, but he's going to test her. But it seems like for him to move this young woman out there, put no expectations on her, it seems like he's going to bend to her will, in my opinion. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see an announcement of her being engaged before December 31st because she went on a public platform and said this. So now her followers are looking at him like, you better propose to this woman. And he may be thinking, hey, she may not be marriage material for me. But he's in a bad situation because her story went viral, right? So if he doesn't marry this woman that he plucked from this other state to live with him, if he doesn't marry her, he's going to look like the bad guy. And that may be one of the reasons why he didn't want to be on camera, because he didn't want his situations out there. But she's going to look like the one who won because she can make content out of this. So let's just say he ends up leaving her and he doesn't marry her. He's going to be the bad guy, but she can tell her traumatic story to the black women that follows her, right? And she's going to get more subscribers because of it. That man moved you all the way from here to move to Dallas, and he didn't even have he never wanted to marry you, girl. They won't even acknowledge the fact that maybe this guy was vetting her for marriage, and he realized after 5 years that she came up short. And that happens all the time. But women rarely want to hear that because they think that a man can't be marriage-minded on the dating market, but then they meet a girl and, he had every intention on vetting this woman for marriage, and then they was dating for like 3 months, having sex, and then he figured out, this is not my wife. I want to end the relationship. But women think that he used her. You said you was marriage-minded. I am marriage-minded. That's why I'm vetting the women that I date. She fell short. Women don't see it like that, guys. And that's why I keep telling you, the men, especially young men, you're going to have to acknowledge the fact that you're going to be the bad guy in every woman's situation. And I felt it was necessary to sit here and talk about this because I could see how this is going to play out. It's public. So now he's probably on thin ice, or he's like, man, I don't know what I'm going to do. If I don't marry this woman, I'm a bad guy. But if I do, then it may be for the wrong reasons because she wants to get married to complete her story, in my opinion. Project Leroy said this Trayvon guy has no other women as options. And honestly, he may have other options as women. I think she hinted around when he was in college, like there was a lot of women who liked the guy. But that tends to happen with especially a guy who's in a fraternity and, he carries himself well. Let's say he's in the gym. He's making good money now. He should be able to find another woman. But guys who are very analytical, such as myself, we can be very pig-headed. And sometimes that can leave us open to being Rothsteined. Y'all ever heard that term before? Or is that just a California thing? Let me explain. So the term Rothstein is a reference to the movie Casino with Sam Rothstein and Ginger. Sam Rothstein had all the red flags with this woman. Ginger was very attractive, beautiful woman. He saw her, and he was a very powerful man, strong-willed, had his money together, had status, clout. He looked at that woman and said, you know what? I'm Sam Rothstein. I can change her because of the man that I am. And that's what tends to happen with guys who are very strong-willed, such as myself. We look danger in the face and be like, look, I can handle this. I can change her. Sometimes we'll do that. And it ends up blowing up in our effing faces. Because that woman ain't going to change for you. Just like Ginger did not change for Sam Rothstein. So at the end of the movie, she ends up sneaking back and forth to her pimp. She got snuck in by Joe Pesci's character. So she never changed. She was the same, just like she told Sam. I don't love you like that. But he was like, you know what? I'm Sam Rothstein. His exact words. You know what? F it. I'm Sam Rothstein. I could change her. And at the end of the day, he wasn't able to do that because that woman wasn't going to change, no matter who the hell you were. And that's what he might be in this situation because he is probably a man who thinks very highly of himself. He's like, man, I'm such a good man. I can mold her into the type of woman or type of wife that I want her to be. So don't get Rothsteined. That part stuck out to me, and it actually applies to this. So that's why I was like, yeah. And I had to learn how to get out of that mindset, you know, because I pride myself on being a guy when I was on the dating market that never dealt with unruly ass women. And I'm talking about after she shown me that she was unruly. I had one relationship where, I mean, this woman, gorgeous, natural hair, that natural curly hair, beautiful woman. That thing was good.
I have got a girl whose pussy is so good, if you threw it up in the air, it would turn into sunshine.
But this woman was combative the first time after we came from a movie. I told you guys the story before, and she kind of snapped on me while I was trying to find our way out of the parking spot or the parking garage. And when I noticed it, I was like, hey, you know, even though it's going to hurt, I got to tell this woman this is done. You know what I'm saying? And I brought her back to my apartment. We sat down after the movie. I said, hey, man, I think you're a great woman, but I think your personality is not suited for me. You're a little bit more fiery than I expected. You know, I wish you the best. Hope you find what you want. She was just sitting on the couch, and she was like, man, I ain't never had a guy sit me down and tell me that. And she was like, yeah, I respect your decision. And she was like, do you want me to stay? And she grabbed my knee. Brother.
Mr. Burgundy, you have a massive erection.
Really?
I was like, man, if I sneak in with this woman one more time, she gonna end up staying. I had to fight every demon that I had. I was like, nah, I think, you know what I'm saying, we should just call it a night. And I let that woman go. And everything in my heart, after I closed that damn door, everything in my heart wanted to call her up like this.
Excuse me, would you mind sparing me a bit of coochie? Just a crumb. This much. Just a crumb. Karuchi, please. What do I have? I'll do anything. Yes! Jesus. Thank you. Let's go.
Just a crumb. Just a crumb.
All right,
Which is
he's
the end
scrolling
of
on
this
Instagram
year.
right now saying, well,
Because we've been together for 4 years, and I always say, like, over more than 5 years as a girlfriend is kind of crazy. Like, a man knows, you know, stop playing with me. So, and I came up with that timeline when I came more secure with myself, because at first I was like, oh no, I can't lose him. I can't. No, like, if he really would like to marry me, if he does not want to marry me within the timeline that I'm giving, yes, I'm gonna cry my eyes out. I'm gonna be so heartbroken. But I know my value, and I do understand that I can be an asset to someone else out in the world. You know what I'm saying?
do you feel like
Keep in mind, she's saying this while he's literally off camera right there. And like Latera said, he said, man, he ain't listening to nothing you saying. He's just scrolling on her phone. He's scrolling on his phone while she's talking. But that's one of them other characteristics of an analytical guy, acting like we not bothered and we got it under control. When this woman is literally telling you that she's giving you an ultimatum and she will be okay if you don't propose to her. So she already got her plan set up. And we're talking about a guy who is literally taking care of her to where she could cultivate her content creation following. And she's willing to put a timeline on it and be like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and leave because you didn't meet my deadline. Y'all, young men, I hope you're paying attention.
like your living situation will make that timeline stretch? Would you be like, man, where I'm gonna go?
No, I would not.
Where you go?
I would buy me my own apartment. I can get my own apartment.
All right now you making money where you can go get your own place.
I can get my own place
So she's making money from the content creation that he funded.
right now at this particular time. And that's another thing that the girls be in my comments about. Well, it's older women. I'm not gonna say the girls. It's older women that try to mask it with like, oh, I'm concerned. But it's like, no, you hating on me. You hating on me. Like, for real. Because if he leave you today, what you gonna do? I lived on myself before. I have not 1, but 2 degrees. Okay.
So she's calling out the older women for saying that what you gonna do if he leaves you. And it's kind of, I mean, yeah, I understand where she's coming from, but that may be true. They may have a valid concern. She's making money now, so she can live by herself now because she got that content creator money, which, like I said, using soft life to black women, you will get paid a lot of money. So she's probably doing very well. But the funny thing is, she's in a tough situation because if she does leave, then she's just basically saying that the older women were right. You see what I'm saying? So that's why it's so important for her to get married, because she has a lot of women to prove wrong, because women had a hard time understanding why this woman would just up and leave and move out with some guy with no promise of marriage. So she has to complete the story in order to throw it back into the women who told that she was stupid to their faces. You guys see what I'm saying? So that's why I'll be concerned if I was him, if she's trying to get married simply for the wedding, or she wants to truly be a wife. And in my opinion, listening to her, I think she just wants the wedding and also to get married so she can complete the story.
I have a savings account. I'm a content creator. I make money. I can get my own place.
But they say they're concerned for you.
I'm so concerned because, sister, is he gonna?
They think you're gonna be homeless.
You think I'm gonna be somewhere outside homeless?
Like your parents just disappeared now.
My parents just gone. I can go back to Baltimore. If anything failed, I can go back to Baltimore. I would never. I don't think I would ever move back to Baltimore, but I can get my own place. I can live. I can thrive. I may not be in a penthouse or whatever like we in now, but I could live. Good. I could live. We have two different upbringings. My parents have been married for almost 30 years, and they say marriage is not perfect, but theirs is 2 points away. They really have a successful, beautiful marriage. They are still so in love, and I think watching that when you're so young, you think like, I gotta be married as soon as possible.
Yeah.
See, she has certain standards and expectations that's already set in her head that she has to meet. And like I said, this is a great trait. This is what men ask for. You want a woman that grew up in a 2-parent household, which she said that she did. 30 years, her parents were married. But her expectations of seeing that and everybody else in her family get married young, on top of her being a content creator with this viral story, it makes for us to believe that she's just trying to complete the story.
All the women in my family are married.
They got married young?
Yes.
Like what age?
Like 21.
Oh, really?
Yes.
A lot of people in your family got married?
Yes. You get married young in my family. Yes. Mm-hmm. So if I'm honest, this may be a little controversial. I don't know. I don't really care. But when I went to college, I went there intentional about finding a husband.
Oh, that's what the white women do.
That's what the white girls do. The black.
So, and that's actually a good thing. I've said that in multiple videos. I think Kevin Samuels mentioned that in multiple videos. That's good, because we know the common trope in the black community for our black women is that they go to college to replace a man, to prove that they don't need a man. Whereas white women, they go to college to find a husband. And I guess she was trying to do that. So I don't knock her for that. There's nothing wrong with her going to college to find a husband.
Girls don't do that.
Yeah.
And the girls be under my videos, oh, how do you find a good man? Baby, when I went to college, I had my thinking cap on and I said, we all here for a sole purpose of getting us a good job. This is the perfect place to find you a black king.
That sounds familiar. I said those exact words. There were a bunch of white women graduating from college, but they were showing their engagement rings. And I'm like, well, why don't our women pair up with these athletes or these guys that are going to be in the STEM field while you're in college? Because I'm telling you now, young women, it's not going to be too many places where you're going to get that many potentially successful men in one place. So I would advise you to go ahead and take advantage of that. And no, it's not saying forego your education. You're going to have to figure out a way to do both. You have to get your education and also cultivate a relationship at the same time. This woman listen to my content.
All right, y'all not thinking. Y'all coming in here trying to pledge all the sororities and go to the parties. Baby, I'm here to find my man. Okay? I don't have time to play with y'all. I'm tired.
So
okay?
Did you meet him in college?
I did.
Okay.
I did. My freshman year, I met him in college. And I swear, like when I saw him, I was like, that's my man. And I told all my homegirls, I'm like, I love him. When I first saw him.
When you told me that story, I said, girl, no, you did not say that. You said, yes, I did. But was it when you dating somebody else at the time? But was it when you dating somebody else at the time?
I was. That wasn't.
Listen to her. She's good.
Anybody's business. That was between us.
Oh, that's between us. Okay. So she wasn't dating nobody else at the time. She just saw him and said, I love him.
Look, I'm a firm believer in don't let your boyfriend get in the way of your husband.
Don't let your boyfriend get in the way of your husband. I told you, women know all these things that we've been trying to educate y'all on. They know it better. They act like they don't do these things. It's so funny, man. You would swear that we have to make assumptions about these things. She young, man. And I told y'all, with these young women, they tell you everything. Same thing that happened with the girl on Kendra G's show. When's the last time you had sex? Oh, it's 2 weeks ago.
When was your last relationship?
It was about 7 months ago.
Okay, you don't have to answer. But did we already do this question? When's the last time you was intimate with someone? You don't have to answer.
2 weeks ago.
What? Who this guy, girl?
It's been someone I've been knowing for a long time. You know, it's just, I have needs as a woman, and I just wanted to see what was up.
Just tell you everything. Just
okay. Now, who I was talking to at the time, he didn't have the qualifications that I was looking for
the job description. And so you saw him. What about Trayvon did you look at and say, I love him?
Oh my
Use
God.
those words.
Because I just saw him, I didn't know him.
Of course.
It was just based off of like...
She's smart. But the way that she went about choosing this guy is good. I think more black women need to do this. Hold on, let's continue.
Looks in his aura, like it was literally how he walked into a room and everybody literally was just like he was just so mysterious. He was so quiet into himself.
So what, you was attracted to the quiet boy, not the frat boy.
But I told you, I'm sorry, I have to keep stopping this, guys. But the way that she describes him, I told you, I can relate. Definitely can relate. But we smarter than the average bear. The bear. Let's continue.
Boy, not the.
But he is a rat boy. And that used to stress me out. Oh my God. College was so stressful. He is a frat boy. So the quietness fooled me in the beginning. I said, oh yeah, he's so quiet into himself. He's going to be, oh my God, such a gentleman. Oh baby, he was a gentleman to get me. But when it was time to really get into the thick of the relationship, the frat boy came out. So yeah, in college, we met my freshman year. We tried to do the situationship thing. Like I said, the frat boy came out. I had to leave him alone.
Yeah.
I had to let God have his way. And I got into another relationship.
See, she was leaving out a lot of things on that first damn video. They actually stopped messing with each other because she was stressed out that he was in a fraternity, right? And she got into another relationship while she was in college. But listen to what she says. Fair use.
And literally, I would see this man over around campus, and I'm just like, that's my man. Like, I'm supposed to be with him. And people always ask me, like, how did you know he was going to have money? Like, how did you know he was going to be successful? The way that he was punctual to class, like he was very organized. He had mentors in his fraternity that were already well off.
That's good.
I used to listen to conversations. Ladies,
you listen to conversations?
Yes.
Listen.
Y'all have to listen. Y'all have to.
Erica, you smart.
I'm very intentional about everything that I do, okay?
You said you was listening to him talking to his mentors.
I sure was. And one of the mentors was like, when you graduate, I can have you making over 6 figures as soon as you graduate. Baby, my ears perked up real.
She's good. Shay Blue Side said apex predator.
I said, oh.
It's so crazy.
My ears perked up, okay? I said, this is supposed to be my man. Like, I just, I feel it. I know it. And of course, it has nothing to do with just money.
Right.
Don't start bitching up now.
Don't start bitching up now.
Don't try and church your way out of this one, ma'am.
Don't try and church it up, son.
You did already said it. You said your ears perked up when you heard that bread. Don't start bitching up now. Like, I just tried to walk that back. It's not just the money. Be honest, it's okay. You was like, hey, man, this dude has a trajectory of making a lot of bread. So that's why I got with him. And then I figure out the rest later. It's okay. We all adults here. You ain't got to church it up.
Don't try and church it up, son.
Let's continue.
He always treated me like a literal princess. Like I can say something out of my mouth and it will appear the next day. Like he's always been that way. And I grew up with a daddy. Like my dad is the same way for his daughters. So I kind of perceive relationships different than other young black girls because I had a dad in my life. And that's what I realized lately is like a lot of my homegirls feel the way that they do about black men in love because they're dad.
How did y'all like that? It was pretty different from the videos that we're used to seeing about relationships, right? It kind of gives the young guys a little bit of insight on the types of women and how they hunt for a man who is a Henry. Shout out to Kevin Samuels, high earner, not rich yet. You are being targeted because we know that there are a significant amount of black men that are starting to do well. The majority of us are in the middle class. We have the most $100,000 and up earners in the black community. These women, like even the ones that lie and swear that black women are doing so much better. No, they know. They know that good black men are out there and they actually hunting y'all. And she hunted that young man. So like I said, I want us to be able to come back to this video and see how it all played out because she gave him an ultimatum of December 31st. So like I said, I would think that he thinks that he's a good enough man to make her the wife that he needs her to be. So my guess is that it'll probably be some announcement on her page before December 31st of him proposing to her to give her what she wants. And I just hope that he doesn't get Rothsteined. So, I mean, just based off of that. And again, I don't wish, the worst on them, but it's public platform. We can review these things. I know women get pissed off. Why are you talking? Once it's on the social media, we got it. It belongs to us. So we can review it and do what we need to do. But like I said, I wish them nothing but the blessings to them. Hopefully everything works out. But I just think that she made some missteps with a good man. And she may end up finding out the hard way. Hopefully that doesn't happen. So.